Hello, hello, everybody. Let me, hang on. I think I messed up the sound. Okay, it looks like everything is working. I've been having some trouble with my sound this week. And I see Sharon. Hi, Sharon. Pat, catch you later. Absolutely, Pat. Thank you for stopping by. Sherry is finishing meal prep. Ooh, fun. And hello, Sharon. Okay, if somebody could give me a thumbs up just to let me know that you won't be able to see me okay, but hopefully you can hear me okay. We only have 4 people on tonight. So interesting when this happens, because we're all kind of, I don't know, on the same kind of pattern, the same kind of wavelength. And there's a lot going on right now. Okay, thanks, Sharon. I appreciate that. And there's Fatima. Thank you. Thank you very much. Oh, yeah. And for Fatima, we are doing a reading for Chispa tonight. I have a really beautiful message to share from Chispa. And I might have grabbed the wrong book, but that's okay because I had also made notes on my computer. But first, let's start at the very beginning. For those of you who may be catching this for the very first time, this is not the best video to start things off with. It'll be a great message, but I am in the process of moving my residence. So I am sitting in a completely empty room right now. This is my old residence, and I've been kind of broadcasting from the new one. So we have nothing here. I'm kind of leaning against some cushions. So having fun, but part of that is the message. It's about movement. It's about not being stagnant. It is about not staying in your comfort zone. And that's a lot of the message we're going to talk about tonight. I'm calling it the joy of life, though. The joy of life, that life goes on after our animal companions cross to the other side. But sometimes we get stuck emotionally. We get stuck. Oh yeah, Gypsy's joining me tonight. We get stuck emotionally. We get stuck spiritually and physically. And it's going to be about how we can bring that joy back into our life. And a couple things have happened this week that really brought that point home for me. So that's what I want to share with you guys. But first, for those of you, again, who are joining me for the first time, my name is Elaine. I'm an animal Reiki master, an animal chaplain, and an animal medium. And little Gypsy wants to join in the show here. And the purpose of this channel and these live streams is to create community for those of us who have lost animal companions, whose animal companions have crossed to the other side of life, helping ourselves heal and beyond healing, helping ourselves not just work through grief and guilt, but come out even better on the other side, and how our animal companions are there to help us. Their soul, their spirit, their energy continues in the non-physical world. And then the animals who are still present with us also want to help us. So that's what we do here on this channel. I always forget to mention this, that I have 2 free things. If you have an animal companion sharing your home and they are aging or have been diagnosed with a terminal illness, I have created a free resource for you that will help you work through that, help you manage it, help you become a better partner and caregiver to your animal companion as they age and as their condition may progress. And there's 2 of them. Both are about either preparing for or working through some of the grief. Those are totally free. So just go ahead and click the link. The only thing I ask for is your email address. And that's just because it's the only way that I can get you that information. I would love to include you on my weekly emails. I send out a weekly email every Monday prior to this live stream that kind of has a little message. I call it Messages from the Rainbow Bridge. And it's a message to help you. There's no sales pitch stuff in it. I'm not one of those kind of people who floods your email box. It's meant to be useful and helpful. And I would love to have you be part of that. But if you choose not to, you can just click the unsubscribe button. It happens automatically. You don't have to answer any weird questions or explain to me why you don't want to subscribe. I get it. Email has become a real overused. Hang on, I want to take a drink. All right, let me say hello to everybody. Caroline, good to see you. Cheryl, good to see you as well. Kathy, awesome to have you here. Donna, awesome to have you here. Good to see everybody. All right, so tonight, let's get down to business now. We are going to talk about, and I know it's a little hollow sounding, but it's okay. I am committed to doing these videos. I love this community. For those of you who are new, We have got a great group of people here, people that are supportive and a place for you to share stories, and a place for you to express guilt, to express grief, to have people who have walked in your shoes. We know exactly what you're going through, and we are here to support you. And this great group of people that you see commenting on the side, they are they talk amongst themselves all the throughout the whole thing, which is great because it's a wonderful way to support each other. Okay, let's talk about some of the things that came up for me this week about movement. Now, I am not a big astrology person. I love all the woo-woo stuff. I get into all like the oracle cards, and I love being able to connect with animals on the other side. That's why we're going to do the reading for Chispa later on. I love being able to connect with animals on the other side. I love being able to communicate with animals here, my beautiful special needs doggy Gypsy. I love I love exploring all of my psychic abilities. In fact, you guys, the Animal Mystic Masterclass starts tomorrow. It's Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So that's 7 Central, 6 Mountain time. And I'll be on the road. I won't lie. I'll be on the road, but it's okay because I realize now that I can share these messages from anywhere. And it's all about embracing your life. And this is what life is for me right now. So just embrace the joy of life. And we're going to learn. We're going to have some suggestions for ways that our animals want to help us remember that life is joyful and that we can find that joy again. So the joy of being alive is what I call this. And it's about movement. And I started to say that I'm not into astrology. I'm into lots of other woo-woo stuff. I've studied it all. I continue to study it all. I am a psychic development student myself, and I also teach it. So that's where I was going. Animal Mystic Masterclass starts tomorrow night for anybody who wants to start practicing their psychic skills. And it's when you say, I'm going to start practicing my psychic skills, sometimes people will roll their eyes, you'll get funny looks, but this is about our natural intuitive abilities. We have got senses beyond the 5 senses, beyond our eyes and our smell and taste and ears, sight, touch, beyond all of that. We have superpowers. And I think it was Greg Braden who just did a video this week. I love Greg Braden, if anybody's ever watched him. He did a video that when he polled, he just asked randomly. He started asking people, like, do you really think you have a superpower that might be untapped? Is there something that you think you really have the ability to do that is unexpressed because nobody has taught you how to do it? And almost 100% of the people who've responded said yes. I think it is something that unifies us. Every single person has this sense that there's something more. There's something more. We may not be sure what it is. We may not understand it. We may not even trust it. We may not totally believe it, but we really get this sense that there's something else out there. And there's too many coincidences. There's too many synchronicities. There's too much of that synchronicities, too many things that start to occur, that start to flow and happen, that you just can't write these off as pure coincidence. So that's where I love the Animal Mystic Masterclass, because we allow the animals to be our teachers, and I teach we teach channeling and mediumship and using oracle cards and pendulums, and we touch on all of it with animals as guides and teachers who are natural psychics. And that's part of why I bring it up, because tonight's message is that animals are natural when it comes to movement. And one of the messages that comes through whenever I do readings for animals on the other side of life, there is frequently a message about, maybe not the word movement, but about movement. So I did have a private client earlier this week, and the message was loud and clear. And she even said it before I did. I said, there's an interesting message coming through from your dog, and I'm going to try to phrase this in a way that is non-judgmental. It's just the message that I'm receiving. And she said, I know what he's going to say. He's going to say, get off my butt. And yes, that's exactly what it was. Get up and get moving. So that's really what we're going to talk about tonight, and how to find the joy in that. How to embrace the moment. I've got myself some notes here, guys. You guys know I do automatic writing, something else we teach in the Mystics class. And if you have been in the Mystics class before and you would like to take it again, send me an email and I will get you on the list. Um, Embrace the moment, reconnect with the natural world, the importance of movement for healing and growth and joy. Physically, I'm talking about physically moving our body, healing, growth, and joy. And I'm taking it a step further for me. The past 2 months where the change in my residence has been happening, and I've just been letting it flow. I've not been resisting it. I'm not pushing against anything. I'm just letting it happen. And that type of movement, a change in location, I'm finding it like I'm anticipating that whatever new things are going to be happening for me. And then I wanted to share one more thing as we begin to talk about this, about movement and some of the messages that come through from our animal companions. I was watching a TV show last night. I don't watch a lot of TV, so it really has to catch my attention in order for me to give up my other time doing all the other things I love to do just to sit in front of the TV. So I'm watching this show last night, and the character in the show, the main character, has lost his wife. So we're not talking about animals here. We're talking about people. Has lost his wife. That's like part of the running theme of the story. And he is on the phone with somebody. He's speaking to them, not a counselor, but somebody who's offering some words of comfort, offering some words of comfort. And the words of comfort sounded so much like the things that I often say, that our animals are with us in spirit, that they have not really left us, that their energy, their soul, their being they have not, although they've left the physical body, they are still all around us. And all we need to do is to quiet our mind and ask them to come through to us. And as I'm watching somebody else say these words to the character in the TV show, I realized how they can come off sounding very trite. They can come off sounding, it just sounded not insincere, but it was not the words that this person needed to hear. So I just want to let you know that when I do share those kinds of messages, like it's going to come up tonight with Chispa. The message that came through from Chispa, I remember now, I put it on my phone. The message that I received from Chispa is one of, it's a very spiritual message, and I'm hoping that that's the way that message is interpreted when you hear these things, because what I want you to know is that some people may offer those words as words of comfort. I offer those words not just as words of comfort, but because they are true for every single person on this channel who's ever watched one of these live streams, who has received a sign, a validation from their beautiful animal companion on the other side of life. They want us to connect. They want to connect with us as much as we want to connect with them. They want it to be real. They don't want it to be just a spiritual thing. They don't want it to be just an emotionally comforting thing. They want it to be real. They want us to know that our relationship with them continues well after they've left their physical body. And here's where we're going to tie it into the message today, that there is joy to be had, that joy can be found again. And it's possible to bring that back into your life. And I'm going to call it the 5-minute challenge. I don't always like those things called challenges. Here's your 21-day challenge. But I'm going to say, let's take 5 days, the next 5 days for 5 minutes a day. And let's really see if we can make a difference. And we'll get to what that is in just a minute. So I'm going to take a quick look at comments here before I continue further. Caroline says, hi, Gypsy. Gypsy's head is now resting on my lap. She's resting. My sweet Gypsy. Hi, Judy. How are you? In the reading with Asia, the rocks hurt. I had changed out the landscape rock last year and it was awful. I went back and looked at her videos and thought, right? I call Judy. I call those Easter eggs. When I do little readings and something comes through that doesn't immediately make sense, it is often because there's no sense of linear time on the other side of life. And sometimes it's something that doesn't make sense for a couple weeks or a couple months or even longer before it starts to make sense. In fact, Aaron, who usually watches these now on the replay, Aaron, we're still waiting for the marching band. It's become a running joke now. Where is the marching band that came up during the reading? Okay. If I join again, will I need to pay again? No, Sherry. No, no, no. That's what I'm saying. That's what I want to do. If there is anybody, because this Animal Mystics Masterclass, I teach it repeatedly. So usually 3 or 4 times a year, I'll teach it. Every time I teach it, the animals have something more to share. It's gone from being like a little 10-page workbook that I use to like a 100-page workbook. So anybody who has ever taken the class before, the Animal Mystic Masterclass, you are welcome to join again. No, you do not need to pay a second time. Okay, and I'm going to keep going. Hit the nail on the head with Asia. I trust that the things that they tell me are true. I trust the things they tell me are true. Hi, everyone. Link to research study done regarding after-death communication for non-human animals. Oh, thank you, Donna. That's wonderful to know. I'm always looking for stuff like that. I am still. There's a part of me that will always be the one who needs to know the realness behind it, who needs to know the science behind it, who needs to know that that's why I shared the things about about quantum physics, because I research the things that tell us that these psychic abilities are not hairy fairy woo woo, that our bodies are built, our bodies are designed, we have this natural ability, and I like to be able to prove it. So I would love to have that kind of validation. Getting out in nature, that's what we're going to talk about, Sharon. Okay. I'm gonna continue with the little message here. So we're going to talk about the importance of movement. I wanted to mention the TV show because I felt it was important that that the messages we see from our animal companions are more than just comfort, even though they do give us messages of healing and comfort. So the wisdom of our animal companions. When we look at animals, they're natural movers. That's the only word that I have for it. They naturally move, and if they had their way, that movement would be fairly routine and fairly regular for them every day. Often the animals who share our home do not get the level of exercise that they would desire, and it's because of the lifestyle that we lead. I say it without blame. Many times I took Jack and Lucy out for a walk strictly to do their business and not because I wanted them to enjoy the walk. But I've pretty much done away with that. When Gypsy goes outside, she gets to go out for her smell. It's not just a walk that she takes. She gets to go out, and if she would like to smell every blade of grass in 1 square foot of grass, then knock your socks off, little girl. You can smell them. But we often don't give our animal companions the level of movement that they need, but they're natural movers. So going beyond the animals that share our home, think about wildlife, birds constantly in flight, constantly moving from one place to the next. Squirrels, always busy. Deer who walk through the woods. I'm trying to think of all different animals who live in the wild, whether it's ants, bumblebees, snakes. There is a constant movement that is going on. And it's not just moving their body, it's moving their body through nature. Animals are so in tune with the natural world. They think of animals that can sense when there's a natural disaster about to happen, or when we have something happens like a fire, which we experienced here in Colorado just last year. So a fire, a devastating fire comes through. We have wildfires all the time. Wildfire comes through. What happens to all that wildlife? Believe it or not, very little wildlife is actually harmed by those things because they are so in tune with their natural world that they leave the place wherever that disaster is about to happen. So birds in flight, they understand the wind. Animals understand weather. There's so much that they are naturally grounded with. So they're natural movers, and they love to explore. I came up with a couple good words I wanted to share because in addition to movement, like getting out there, it's beyond exercise. It's good for you. Physical movement is good for your body. It helps your joints, it helps your muscles, it helps your bones, it helps all of those things. But more than that, it is like emotionally rewarding. I love to step outside and just breathe in the air, breathe in fresh air, step into the sunshine, walk around. It just feels good. But beyond that, animals like to explore. Animals are curious. Animals like to interact with nature. They are, it's almost like they're part of it. They are part of it. There's a connection there that runs very deep when animals are allowed to roam free in nature. So that's one of the big things, is that they're just naturally curious as well. The curiosity about nature. Think about a dog who chases a butterfly, or just a fly. Think about a dog in your house. How they look. Lucy knows the word fly. Lucy, Lucy, her name just popped right out of my mouth. I take that as a sign. Gypsy loves to chase flies. Now, Gypsy has no eyes, but if she hears a fly buzzing, she is so she'll have her fun cut out for her. She'll chase the fly all over the room, unable to catch the fly. But just my sweet girl. So as soon as I said fly, she's like, "There's a fly. There's a fly, Mama. There's a fly." Naturally curious. Animals also stay present. They stay present, and animals enjoy the small joys, like a fly. What a wonderful way. It's so interesting to watch an animal who can be enraptured by the smallest thing, by the smallest little thing that catches their attention in nature. A butterfly outside, the sound of a squirrel, the sound of birds, anything, the smell of grass. They just become so captured by it and so curious by it. That's what, can't understand some of my handwriting here. Hang on. The number of messages from, that was the other thing. The number of messages that I receive from animal companions on the other side who want us to break out of our comfort zones. They don't just want us to physically move and to get out in nature. They want us to not just get up off our butt. They want us to get out of that comfort zone. They want us to really explore. They want us to get out there and do something totally different. We really talked about this last week. We talked about stepping out of our comfort zone, like walk backwards down the sidewalk, do something completely different and completely unexpected. And that the number of messages that I receive from animal companions on the other side of life that say just that, it happens all the time. Free yourself from the routine. Get out of the box. And then let's see, what were some of the things I wanted to, there was a great little dog yesterday, actually a great big dog yesterday, a dog named Hank. And Hank is a yellow lab, but Hank has legs from here to the sky. I've never seen, it's like a yellow lab body on Great Dane legs. There are these enormous legs. Well, yesterday, Hank got the zoomies, and we were in the hallway of my condo. And Hank got the zoomies, and Hank unabashedly got the zoomies. This goofy, lunky dog with these big gangly legs that he doesn't even know what to do with just started zoomies up and down the hall. And then he would look back and look at us, and then zoomy. And then look at us again and zoomy, completely with no regard for what anybody might be thinking. It was unrestrained joy in the smallest little thing. So that's the other thing I think that they're teaching us, is that it is time for us to not worry about what other people think, and to do something with such abandon and such glee that we really get the most joy from it. So I am going to read some comments again real quick. Okay, Sharon. All right, Sharon and Sherry. I'll make sure that you're on the list. Kathy says, I was in the zone playing certain songs, asking Tiggy for a sign. There was a loud sound on a paper bag in the kitchen that was opened up. Then on the way to the car, hubby's phone played a lullaby. The signs come from all different places. For those of you who may not have received a sign yet, I'll let you know that you have received a sign. It's just that we are not, when we get out and move and get in nature, it also puts us more into the zone. But when we get, and I won't go too far down this path, we can always talk about this again. When we get too mired down in the denser emotions, it kind of keeps us from being able to see those signs. But our animal companions never, ever, ever stop sending them. They want to get our attention, and they will continue to send signs. So those are great signs. I love the sounds. Like I mentioned that Winston, the little nails clicking on the floor. I heard him clear as a bell. That he was here on the bare floor. That's why I heard it, because the carpet was removed and it was just the bare floor. And I heard his little feet. Koala bears in Australia when they had those fires. Cheryl, I'm not going to get too far off topic for this, but we also, when we had a devastating fire locally here in Colorado. It was near the Boulder area. And there were farms, horses, cows, wildlife, pets, because it happened like that. It was a neighborhood, but also like it's a really open area. Excuse me. But anyway, the fire was so fast that nobody had time to do anything. And people were evacuated. They don't know where their animals went. And yes, even for the koalas, same kind of example. So we went there. There was a group of us who wanted to go and just be able to help find them. We were going to try to find whatever animals there were, and there were safe zones that we were going to take the animals to. We were turned away because of the conditions. No one was permitted to help, and it was infuriating. It was sad. It was debilitating. Like, we just were so sad, and it felt like there was nothing we could do. But then I remembered that there is. And I teach this as part of Reiki, and you guys can do this too. This is for anybody and everybody. If you ever feel your heart aching for an animal, when we help one animal, we help them all. When we help one animal, we help them all. We are all connected. And if I had my way, my home would be filled with every rescued senior dog. That's who I'm drawn to. Every rescued senior dog in the whole wide world would be living with me. And they'd be eating food, and they'd be having a happy time, and we'd be playing, and we'd be sleeping, and we'd be doing whatever they want. It's not physically feasible, but we can help any animal that we can help with. Even if we went to a shelter, some other shelter, completely unrelated to fires in Australia, if we went to someplace else and started to help one animal companion find their new forever home, or just sat with them in a space of quiet peace, letting them feel calm, letting them know that they're in a place where people care for them, that's all we need to do. That vibration goes out into the universe, and this is not hairy-fairy woo-woo. This is quantum physics. The vibration we hold within ourselves, when we extend that out to even one other living thing, it impacts everyone. It makes everything better for everybody. So that's where I'll go with that for now. Also, that can be a topic for another day. Thought of Burton Cummings' song, I was singing a lullaby, and then you had the dream. There you go. Worry about wildlife and disasters. Yep. And you notice a change in this. When you can see the change in wildlife, if there's going to be any kind of weather, they know right away. The magpies I'm going to miss my magpies so much. The magpies that come to my patio, they come the day before a snowstorm. There's like 10 of them out there, and they take every bit of food that there is, and they're gone. They like devour it. I know that there's a snowstorm coming when they do that. What age do animals stay at after? Oh, Ocean Lee, I wanted to share something more with you too. What age do animals stay at after they have passed? Do they become young again? There are no rules. There's no rules, my friends. I know this from the depth of my being, from every animal I've ever connected with. There are no rules. Whatever your animal is on a journey, all of our animal companions are on journeys of their own. They are souls, sentient beings. They are on a journey. And sometimes that journey doesn't align with what we think it should be, but they're on their own journey. And when they cross to the other side, and this is for you too, when we cross to the other side, all limitations are removed. Whatever boundaries we have placed on ourselves in order to be physical in this physical body here on planet Earth, experiencing life, experiencing this move, experiencing joy, experiencing nature, when we go to the other side, any limitation that we have is gone. I have said this, and I mean it 100%. You guys, if you're all here after the day that I cross, I will be coming back as a hawk. And I will be coming back as a hawk, and I will swoop by your house. And you will see a hawk in the middle of nowhere, and you'll know that it's me. There are no rules. They can be young again. They can go back to their little kittenhood. They can go back to being puppies. They can be, if they're puppies and they want to be cats, they can do that. If they want to practice what it's like to be a human, they can do that. It's because they're a soul. They're not just a cat or a dog or a horse. They are a soul. And that soul existing on the other side of life has access now to more than we can possibly imagine. Our imaginations can't even get us there, to the freedom that they have on the other side of life. And let's see, what was the other message that I wanted to share with you? When our animal companions, and then I'm going to continue on with the movement, when our animal companions cross in a way that is traumatic, whether such as Chispa, it was traumatic for their human. For the horses who died in a way that looked incredibly painful and seemed as if they were in a great deal of pain, this is what I want you to know. Our animal companions all have guides. They all have guides just like we have guides. They have, what I mentioned, what I said, the analogy that I used the other day for the client that I was working with was that every single animal companion has a grandpa on the other side. And that grandpa is there in their last moments, helping them. Their consciousness no longer feels that pain. That's the message that I get. And I received that message from a bear. I'll tell you about that in just a sec if you want. They don't feel that that suffering. There is no suffering. And they all have a guide, whether you want to call it a guardian angel. I love calling it a grandpa. I do that for my own father, who I know is on the other side and was such a dog person. I know he's there for any dog who crosses. They all have a guide who is there with them in their final moments, who releases that pain that we may still see. Our physical eyes see an animal who may be suffering. They are not suffering. Their soul is already transcending that physical pain. It's gone. It's just gone. And then when they cross to the other side, there is no memory. This also comes from Chispa. There is no memory of the trauma. People ask me to ask their animal companion. Sometimes it's not a trick. Sometimes they just want proof that what I'm saying is real. And they say, well, tell me how my animal companion died. And the message that I get 9 times out of 10 is that it doesn't compute, because to them, they did not die. They simply transitioned. There was not even a blink of separation. One minute they were in their physical body, the next minute they were out of their physical body, seeing that they were no longer in their physical body. And I can't remember where I was going with that now that I just said that. Anywho, so you don't have to worry ever about an animal companion. If what appears to us to be something of trauma and suffering, it's not. They're gone. Oh, I'm going to tell you the story about the bear. Super, super quick. So when I lived up on the mountain, I lived in an RV at the top of the mountain all by myself, and I had a bear. I didn't personally have a bear, but the bear had kind of adopted me. And the bear would come through just about every day. And there were some times when I needed to come down off the mountain, and I couldn't, because Jan Bear was sleeping on my front lawn, so to speak. And I loved this bear, a honey-colored bear, beautiful, beautiful bear, a black bear, or yeah, it's a black bear, but they come in different colors. So this beautiful honey-colored bear, and he, hang on a second. I hear somebody coming in the door. I got to close the door. Just a minute. Watch out. Hey, hon. Thank you. My husband's going to close the door for me, so I don't have to get up. Thank you. So this bear that I so adored, somebody, without hurting your heart, please don't let this hurt your heart, because it does not hurt my heart anymore. But somebody killed the bear, and then they did more to the bear. They mutilated the bear, and this was after I had just moved down from the mountain. And when I heard the news from my neighbors about my bear, I cried. I mean, I intensely cried, like snot pouring out my nose, kind of crying. And I didn't understand. I didn't understand how that could happen. And so I did what I recommend for each of you to do when you're in that place, that inconsolable place where nothing seems to make sense. Go inside, or go outdoors. Go inside yourself. Ask for a connection. I simply asked for insight from that beautiful bear about suffering, about cruelty. I wanted to know it all. And his message to me was, number one, that he had no memory of the trauma. Number two, that he had forgiven the person who created the trauma. And number three, that he was free. He was totally free, and he was happy. and everything was fine, and everything was fine, and I could let go of that. And if I could find it in my heart to forgive the person, the human being who did this, that I would find myself even more connected to the animals on the other side. And that was his message to me. That was the message that I needed to hear. So that's what I would recommend for when something is hurting your heart. Spirit animal is a hawk. Judy, that's awesome. Oh, with blue eyes, with blue eyes. So I pictured my little tattoo of Lucy that I have on my arm. I gave her blue eyes. So maybe one day I'll come back as a hawk with blue eyes. Sharon, it does sad, and Karen, it does seem sad, and it was sad at the time, but the message, the deep message of forgiveness and understanding from the other side really has helped me to move past that. So let's talk about movement. Movement in terms of healing and reconnection. When we can move our physical body, I've mentioned this before in other videos, that denser emotions like grief, guilt, resentment, revenge, vengeance, like that's what I wanted. When that story about the bear, my first instinct was, well, I think that I shall go do that to whoever did this to the bear. When we are stuck in those denser emotions, we keep them inside our body. It's not just the thing that we're feeling. Our body holds on to that, and it causes our energy centers not to function well. It causes us to be blocked. Our heart is blocked. Our core is blocked. Everything is, even our voice is blocked. So movement allows you to release. Movement of any kind. If you've ever done any kind of practice like Tai Chi or yoga, even Pilates, anything that is dance, if anybody dances, anything that allows your body to move will help free up some of that stuck energy, some of that energy that you have stuck there. So it's physical stagnation, and it releases those emotions, which is why sometimes in a yoga class, you may see people cry because it releases all of that energy. That energy is finding a way to release, or giggle or laugh. Laughing, giggling, crying, all of those things, yawning, feeling sleepy. Those are all ways that our body releases that pent up energy. It does stimulate the energy flow. So like I mentioned, I love to go outside just to get the energy flowing. If I find myself, I do a lot of work on my laptop. I do a lot of my work on the computer, a lot of Zoom calls, a lot of teaching, a lot of writing. And when I start to feel, I can't even describe the feeling, but all of a sudden I'll be like, I have to get up. I not just have to get up, I need to get up and go outside. And it's liberating to breathe in fresh air especially after I've been sitting at my computer for a long time. And then the energy flows and my creativity comes back. So if I feel like stuck, if I'm writing a chapter of a book or working on the workbook, something like that, and I'm feeling like I'm pushing and trying and it's not coming out, and whatever I'm doing is get myself outdoors. Just get myself outside. It stimulates my creativity. Encourage, I'm trying to read my handwriting here. Encourage. Oh, it encourages you to be present and mindful. When you go outside, especially this activity that I'm going to share with you next, this 5-minute challenge, it encourages you to be aware of your surroundings. There is a new school of spiritual thought that is all about awareness, that consciousness and awareness are very key. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago. Consciousness and awareness, being aware of who you are at all times, it's almost impossible. But that awareness is also a key to creating a better life for yourself, to creating better relationships, to creating better psychic abilities, to creating better connections with animals, whatever it is that you want. But being aware, and by being aware, you breathe in and you just focus. You focus on where you are. If you wanted to touch a tree, I love to touch trees. I just love to feel the bark. I will often feel the leaves. If you want to smell a flower, if you just want to breathe in the air, but it creates an awareness in you. And when you become aware, your connection to everything that is opens up. your connection becomes much better. So it encourages mindfulness and presence, and it reconnects you to the rhythm of nature. When you mentioned, whoever it was that mentioned that you can tell that when birds are, they indicate a change in the weather. They are so connected, and we are connected. I'm going to share about the trees. So trees, if anybody is aware of this, you have this thing called mycelium. And mycelium is I want to say it's the root system of the trees. And I know I'm not going to get this completely right. It's the root system of the trees, and they have a fungus that grows on the root system of the trees, the mycelium, and it is interconnected. Like trees all over the world are interconnected. Where we were doing something, I can't remember the activity. I think that Sharon or I think it might have been Sharon who was in on this activity. Somebody was planting a new tree in their yard, and was looking for us to share some positive energy. So we suggested that all these trees are connected in one beautiful way. If we all went out and just touched a tree and just let our heart fill with love as we touch this tree, that it would send a message to all trees. So it reconnects us with the natural rhythm of nature. Nature has a rhythm to it, and we are so often out of tune with it, whether it comes from going to work every day, family things, relationship things, financial things, all of these things that take up all the space in our mind. We fall out of rhythm with the natural way. And so many indigenous peoples still practice the natural connection, putting your bare feet on the earth, stepping your feet into the ocean, feeling the wind blow through your hair, letting the sun shine on your face. These are the things that help put us back into connection with nature. And then what is this one I wrote here that I can't read at all? Time in nature. Oh, use time in nature to honor the life of your animal companion. Your animal companion, your beautiful soulmate, the one that you want to receive a sign from, we honor their life when we start to live our life. That's what it comes down to. We live our life. We learn to reconnect with the natural way of things, and it honors our animal companions in the greatest possible way. So the 5-minute nature challenge, what is it? I am going to challenge all of you. It doesn't matter when you're watching this. If you are here with me live, if you are watching this on a replay, if it is 5 years from now and YouTube has mysteriously popped this video up and you're going, who is this crazy lady sitting against a blank wall in an empty room sharing the 5-minute nature challenge? Well, this is what I suggest that we're going to do for the next week. The 5-minute nature challenge. It's easy. We do it every day. And it is a reminder to, God, the nuns would be so unhappy with my handwriting. It is a daily reminder to embrace. Yeah, I think I like the word embrace, even though I'm not sure that's what it says. Embrace the joy of being alive. Embrace the joy of being alive. Every cat who suns themselves on the back of a sofa. Every horse who runs through the field, every dog who gets the zoomies, every bird in flight, they are embracing the joy of being alive. When our animal companions cross to the other side, it leaves a hole. There is just no way around it. It leaves us feeling empty and sad. It leaves us feeling full of guilt and grief. And we forget that there's a joy to being alive. And we get so wrapped up in all of the human-made creations that we miss the fact that we're alive. So today, as I am moving out of this location, we're in the foothills, in my beautiful Rocky Mountain foothills, with my beautiful magpies who come to visit me every morning, I could choose to dwell on all of the things that I'm going to miss, all of the things that make me sad, all of the bittersweet things that I'm really not looking forward to. Or I can remember that this is part of life. This is living. I get to live. I get the privilege. I get the joy. I get the honor. I get the fun of living life. So find a way to embrace it. Find a way to really embrace it. So I will go out and and I'll touch the trees. I talk to the trees. I know. Step outside. So here's what we're going to do. Step outside. This is what I wrote. Sofas don't heal, trees do. So sitting on your sofa, binging Netflix is not ever going to help you heal. But getting outside, and when you breathe in, we've probably learned this in elementary school, that there's a relationship between plants and people. We breathe out, we exhale what they need, and they return to us what we need. And it's this constant flow. It's a constant flow between plants and people. And that's why trees heal. Trees can heal us. Sofas don't. So step outside for 5 minutes. Here's what we're going to do. Oh, what did I write here? What did I write about dental floss? Oh, right. Step outside for just 5 minutes. And try not to be self-conscious when you do it. Try to be completely free and completely open. Now, why did I write dental floss? Because there was a time when I went to the dentist and I was not a regular flosser. And I said, I don't know how to do it. It's weird. It feels weird. I'm afraid I'm not going to get it right. And the dentist said, start with one tooth. Just break off a piece of floss and floss one tooth. That's how you get started. And I was like, you just want me to floss one tooth? And he's like, yeah, just floss one tooth. So I came home and I took my dental floss out and I flossed one tooth. And then it wasn't enough. So I flossed the next one and the next one and the next one. And I was like, oh, this is so easy. I'm just flossing my teeth. And when I went back to talk to the dentist, he's like, yeah, nobody ever can just floss one tooth. So that's why we just go out for 5 minutes, step outside for 5 minutes. And the next thing you know, it's going to be 15 minutes. So 5 minutes. Focus on your sensory awareness. That's what it is. Focus on your sensory awareness. That's what's going to help you. Sitting with all of those things, all the monkey chatter going on in the back of your mind is not going to do the trick. You want to focus on, what do you see? Last night I saw a shooting star for the first time in a long time. It was really cool. So what do you see? What do you feel? Is it cold? Is there wind blowing? Is the sun shining warmly on you? Think about what your body is feeling. Is it bright? Is it dark? What do you hear? Can you hear birds? Do you hear different birds? Do you hear something else? Do you hear wind blowing through the trees? I want you to focus all your senses. 5 minutes. Step outside and focus all of your senses. Become really practice sensory awareness. See, smell, hear, feel, wind, sun, cold. Okay, got all that. And then move mindfully. Pay attention to how your body feels. Now, by movement, it can be walking. It can be, if you do more than that, I love to ride my bike. I'm not a runner myself, but I do walk. I could walk. You could just stand, but you could practice yoga. You could practice a little bit of Tai Chi. You could just do some stretching. But whatever it is, be aware of how your body feels. Is there an ache? Is there a pain? Is there something that felt really good to be stretched? Are your lungs kind of rejoicing in the fresh air that you're breathing into them? So move mindfully and pay attention to how your body feels. And then just reflect and express gratitude. Express gratitude for the moment. Express gratitude for the moment, and it all adds up. Piece by piece by piece, you will start to want to be outside. You will start to want to be in tune with nature because it's going to feel good. It's going to feel good, and 5 minutes is not going to be enough. So reflect on the moment, express gratitude, and gratitude, I wish there was a better word, appreciation. Appreciation is a good word, because gratitude is if like someone's handing you a gift or someone is doing something for you. It's external to you. Appreciation is internal to you. Appreciation, really appreciate what you see. Appreciate the snow that you see on the horizon. Appreciate the trees. Appreciate the smell. Just appreciate the moment. And appreciate all the animals who have ever shared your life. I love to go outside, and I like to think of this. It's using my imagination 100%, but I believe our imagination is a very good tool, an active tool. Using our imagination is more than just daydreaming. I like to imagine, I'll say, Jack, let's do this walk just for you. And everything I see and everything I smell and everything I hear, you be it. Let this walk be for you. And I look at things that I think Jack would like to look at. I listen for a sound that Jack would like to hear. I don't get down and smell the grass. Haven't gone that far yet, but I know that Jack loved to smell the grass. I allow him to use my senses. I visualize in my mind that Jack's soul comes in through me and experiences things right through my body. So that's the 5-minute nature challenge. Super easy. 5-minute nature challenge. Take yourself outdoors, whatever the temperature may be. So, and if it's raining and you don't want to go outside, wait till the sun comes out, or step out into the rain if that's what you want to do. 5 minutes outside. Focus on your sensory awareness. Move mindfully, paying attention to how your body feels, and then reflect with appreciation the things that you're experiencing. It's that easy. Why do you do this? You do it because this practice then helps release that stuff, all those emotions, the things that come back up, even the ones that bubble up after years. I'm trying to think of what the word somebody used earlier today was, that it makes them physically ill to think of what their animal went through. That we can release that stuckness. Here's the other, one more little hairy fairy thing. The universe, nature, Mother Nature, the earth, has the ability, when you step outside and release those things, to alchemize them, to transmute them, to change them, to shift them into something that is pure, beautiful, positive, whole, and allow that to flow back to you. So that's why we do it. It doesn't matter where you live. Oh yeah, it doesn't matter where you live. Now I happen to live in a place where there's foothills and I have lots of wildlife. I definitely, because I chose to surround myself with wildlife. But it doesn't matter. You can live in the middle of a city. One of my dear friends lives in the middle of downtown and has found a place where the geese go. And so she just goes there and watches the geese. Another person goes to a big office building, but there's a small pond outside the office building. And there are ducks that are in that pond. Wherever it is that you want to go, it doesn't matter where you live, you can get yourself outside. And let's share next week. I would love to hear. I would love to hear next week how many of you actually made it outside for a period of time and started to feel some relief, feeling relief. I won't ever promise that you're going to you can choose to instantaneously feel whole again and feel joy again. But at the very least, you're going to feel relief. You're going to feel a brief sigh of relief. And your body's going to feel that relief. Okay, let's do our little reading now. I'm going to check comments real quick. Got an apple tree planted in my parents' garden to remember Lola. Beautiful. You'll get to go see it next month. Oh, that's awesome. And you can do the same thing. It doesn't matter where in the world you are. You can send a message through the trees. Told hubby yesterday about the trees and how they talk to help each other. Kathy, plant consciousness is becoming more of a thing. There are now universities that are studying plant consciousness and how they aid each other. They aid each other. They aid each other through disease. There's so much. They aid each other in regrowth. There's a lot that trees will do to support each other and their overall health and well-being. That was our Friday Zoom a while ago. I think so, Sharon. Yep. Meditate outside. Sharon, the moment you stop trying is when it's going to happen. Meditation. Maybe I'll lead a class one day just on meditation because I think it changed my life. Meditating has changed my life. It took me a while to get there, though. It took me a long time to get there. Appreciation is a great word. Good. Awesome. Okay, let me get my phone because this is where with nothing around me, I had no place to. I sat down with Chispa, and this is the message I got. I'm going to read it for you word for word because what I received it more as like a love letter from Chispa. I don't know how else to describe it. Just it felt like Chispa was asking me to write this beautiful love letter to human companion. So I'm going to just read you what I wrote about from Chispa. So it's not my normal, although I did ask I love to ask for evidence. When I do these little readings, I love to ask for something, some little piece of information that validates that it's really Chispa. But this love letter, I think, is really going to do the trick. But I did hear, as I was doing this, I used all of my sensory awareness. when I go into a meditation and ask to connect with an animal and ask to receive insights for their human companion, I ask for evidence, and I will use all of my senses. I use if I see something unusual, like the day that I saw the snow, if I hear something unusual, like a marching band or an airplane flying overhead, there was a jet airplane in one reading, whatever comes through my senses, I write down at the same time that I've asked for information, because animals send us signs through our senses. That's how we receive the information. So where are my little notes from Chispa? All right, so I'm just going to read this and try not to cry as I read it, because I found it to be very beautiful. Okay. I can hardly read it. Let's see if I can make this a little bit bigger. It's okay. It's totally okay. I know it's okay because I know what it says. I have a beautiful message from the other side of life. Please know that I am safe, whole, and wrapped in love so pure that it transcends anything we can imagine. In this space of peace, there is no memory of pain. There is no memory of fear. The moment that I transitioned, I left behind the trauma of what happened and stepped into a realm of pure light and love. I want to tell you this. Please let go of the guilt. It does not belong to you. I was never afraid, not even for a moment. I felt your love always, and that love carried me through. I am still with you. Maybe not in the way that I was before, not in my beautiful little body, but in every beat of your heart and every gentle breeze that touches your face. I am there. My journey may have taken me to the other side of life, but I haven't left you, and I never. It is going to make me cry. I was doing so good right up to that moment. I've never left you, and I never will. So then that was like the little love letter that came through. But what I got was a sense of images of joy, of a wagging tail. Now I don't know. I got two pictures of Chispa. I'm not 100%, but they're of Chispa's face. The most amazing eyes, by the way, very powerful eyes, deep eyes. I could look right into them. That's when I got the sense that I was going to receive a love letter. Was by looking into Chispa's beautiful eyes. But I got a sense of a wagging tail, and I don't know if her tail was clipped. You know how they will sometimes do that for dogs? Not anymore, but that was a thing. I just got this sense of a wagging tail, not just a wagging tail, a whole butt wag, like when the whole back of the butt is just wagging. I got such a sense of joy from Chispa. Playful, wagging tail. She wants you to hold on to memories because that's where she is, right? She wants you to hold on to the memories that you have of her, the best memories that you have of her, because that's where you will find her. That's where you will feel her, and that's where you'll know where she is. And I'm saying she, and I honestly don't. I'm pretty sure that Chispa is a she. She wants you to know that in the memories, that's where she is, alive in your heart, in every loving thought that you ever have of her. That's where she is. And that, this was part of the love letter again. I'm going to read from her voice. From her voice is what I got this. My greatest joy was being with you. You gave me everything that I could have ever wanted. It's going to make me cry again. Please forgive yourself, because there's nothing to forgive. She also reminded me to tell you that she sees how much you've been struggling, right? She has seen your struggle. Now, don't worry about that, because we all go through this. We all know, you guys have asked me, do our animals know that we can't see them? Do they know that we're crying? Do they know that we're sad? The answer is yes, but it doesn't distress them, because they know, they trust you. They trust that they can get through to you, and they trust that you'll hear them and see them and receive their signs. But she knows that you've been struggling, And she wants you to, I'm sorry, I'm reading this from my phone. She wants you to know that she's sending you little signs, little signs. So you're getting signs all the time. She's sending you little signs to remind you that she's near. Specifically, she said that there's flickers of light. So something's been happening with flickers of light, and there's something about a smell. So she might, all of a sudden I'm getting a smell of her breath, and I don't know if that was it or not, but there's a very familiar smell to you that she will send you, and she sends it all the time. And the sound of her paws. If there's a quiet moment, the sound of her little paw on the floor. And it's not clicking of nails. Like the clicking of nails is what I got from Winston. This sound that I'm hearing is a soft padding on the floor, like her little paws padding on the floor. That's the sound that she's sending. She's telling me she called them whispers of love. I've never, that phrase has not ever come through before. A whisper of love. And she's telling you that she is by your side, watching you, and she will continue to love you unconditionally, just like she has in life. And that is what came through. And that was, it was the most unique way for a beautiful animal to come through, making me feel like I was going to be sharing a love letter with you. And so I hope you received that message. There we go. Okay. So my friends, that kind of wraps things up for tonight. I have a lot more to do this time next week. Who knows where I'll be? I truly don't know. I'm pretty sure that I will be in my new home with lots more, with some of my familiar things behind me. But for now, that kind of wraps things up. My friends, thank you for being with me tonight. Thank you guys for supporting each other. Sherry and Sharon, I will reach out to you by email. And then if there's anybody else who wants to sign up for the Animal Mystic Masterclass, reach out to me and I will let you know. You are oh, good, Fatima. I'm so glad. I'm so glad that you heard that. This beautiful little love letter from Chispa. Okay, my friends, have a great evening. Have a great week. And if I don't see you before next week, I will see you soon. Take care. Bye, everybody.